There's a moment in every life when the truth finally lands. No one is coming to rescue you. No one will build your discipline for you, fight your battles for you, or carry your dream down the road only you were meant to walk. It feels heavy at first, but that moment isn't a curse, it's the starting line. Real growth doesn't happen while people are cheering you on. It doesn't happen when the path is smooth, or when everyone around you understands what you're chasing. Real growth happens in the quiet when you're alone with your own doubts, moving forward anyway, with no applause and no guarantee, because something inside you refuses to settle. Learn to walk alone, and you become someone who doesn't break easily. Think about a tree. It doesn't grow strong in a sheltered greenhouse. It grows strong by surviving storms, by standing through winds with nothing shielding it. Every storm forces its roots deeper. People are built the same way. Your hardest seasons aren't just obstacles, they're the very thing driving your roots down. The lonely nights, the failures, the people who walked away, the moments no one believed in you, all of it is shaping who you're becoming. Here's a shift that changes everything. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this here to teach me? Every hardship carries a lesson buried inside it. But most people never find that lesson because they run from discomfort straight into approval, ease, and the safest possible path, and then wonder later why their life never became anything extraordinary. Comfort is one of the quietest enemies you'll ever face. It doesn't attack you, it lulls you. Stay where you are, it whispers. Start tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into next year, and eventually a whole life spent avoiding the very challenges that would have made you stronger. The version of you that you're chasing lives on the other side of discipline, not motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some days it shows up, some days it doesn't. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It just says, I made a commitment and I'm keeping it. Discipline, at its core, is just keeping promises to yourself. And every promise kept builds trust in your own word. Every promise broken erodes it a little more. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important one you'll ever have, because you can have money and still feel hollow, admiration and still feel isolated, outward success and still know quietly that you left yourself behind somewhere along the way. Loyalty to yourself has to come first. Picture meeting the version of you that exists 5 years from now. What would they say? Would they thank you for getting up on the mornings you didn't want to? Would they thank you for learning instead of coasting, for refusing to quit? Or would they ask why you let your own potential slip through your fingers? That question matters, because every choice you make today is a message to that future person. Your habits today are simply tomorrow's life, already in motion. People love to imagine success as one dramatic turning point, the lucky call, the perfect break. But that's rarely how it happens. Success is usually invisible before it's visible. The extra hour spent learning while no one's watching, the workout finished with no one cheering, the money quietly saved. Small, unnoticed choices stack into massive results. That's the compound effect. Shift your direction by 1 degree today, and it looks like nothing. Do it for years, and you end up somewhere completely different. Your life doesn't change because of what you do occasionally. It changes because of what you do consistently. Your daily routine is your future, just not written out yet. Look closely at your habits, and you're really looking at a preview of where your life is headed. Every habit is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every choice, every sacrifice, every small action, they all add up into your identity over time. You don't wait to feel discipline before practicing discipline. The practice is what creates the feeling. You don't wait to feel confident before doing hard things. Confidence is built by proving to yourself again and again that you can handle what's difficult. Confidence isn't something you stumble into, it's something you construct, piece by piece, out of evidence that you can trust yourself. So many people want the confidence but avoid the exact situations that would build it. They want the reward without the process, the strength without the struggle. But that trade doesn't exist. If you want the mountain, you have to accept the climb. Growth asks you to leave old versions of yourself behind. Sometimes the hardest goodbye isn't to a person, but to the version of you that made excuses and waited for someone's permission. You have to be willing to outgrow who you were, because your old self can't build your new life. A seed has to crack open before it becomes anything. This is why solitude matters, not because you're rejecting people, but because certain seasons demand quiet, room to think, and enough silence to finally hear your own voice. The world is loud. Everyone has advice. Everyone has an opinion about your choices. But very few people are willing to actually walk your road with you. And even fewer understand the fire driving you. So you learn to trust your own commitment instead of waiting for outside validation. Nearly every person who achieved something remarkable was doubted first, laughed at, told they were wasting their time. They kept going anyway, not because they had proof it would work, but because they believed it would. The world tends to respect the results long before it respects the process behind them. We celebrate the person on stage without ever seeing the years of practice that happened in private. Every success story has a hidden chapter full of rejection and near-quitting moments. What separates the people who make it is one decision: choosing temporary pain over permanent regret. Pain fades, regret doesn't. The discomfort of discipline hurts today, but it's nothing compared to looking back years from now and realizing you never even tried. Failure at least teaches you something. Regret just haunts you for never giving yourself the chance. So be deliberate about which pain you choose. The pain that builds you, not the pain of wondering what if. Pain itself isn't optional in life, but whether it has a purpose is entirely up to you. Two people can face the exact same setback and walk away with completely different futures because one sees a wall and the other sees a door. It's not really the event that shapes your life, it's how you interpret it. Your mindset shapes the meaning, and the meaning shapes what you do next. Think of your mind like a muscle. Whatever you keep exercising gets stronger. Feed your fear, and it grows. Feed your discipline and courage, and those grow too. Every day you're training something, whether you realize it or not. One of the deepest freedoms you can earn is becoming someone you can actually rely on, someone who doesn't fall apart under pressure or need constant reassurance from others. Every time you choose growth over the easy option, you're quietly proving to yourself that the isolated, difficult road wasn't a punishment, it was preparation. It teaches you who you actually are. Underneath the noise and distraction, most people never sit still long enough to escape. Ask yourself the harder questions. Who am I becoming? What am I actually building here? What am I willing to give up for it? What kind of person am I when no one's watching? A remarkable life isn't an accident. It's built by ordinary people making difficult decisions again and again. Nobody becomes disciplined overnight. It happens, one choice, one morning, one kept promise at a time. Everyone you admire once fought the exact same internal battles you're fighting now. What set them apart wasn't the absence of fear, it was their refusal to stop. Consider a farmer. He doesn't plant a seed and dig it up the next day just because he can't see a tree yet. He understands that growth takes time, that there's a season where nothing visible seems to be happening, even while roots form underground. Your life works the same way. The mistake most people make is confusing invisible progress with no progress at all. Everyone wants the harvest. Almost no one wants the planting season. But there's no way around the building process. You can't fake discipline or borrow someone else's mindset. It has to be yours, built by your own hands, because no one can lift the weight for you. That responsibility isn't a burden, it's actually a gift, because it means you have real power over your own direction. The moment you fully accept responsibility for your life is the moment things start to shift, because blame gives away your power while responsibility hands it back to you. When you blame the past, you let the past control your future. When you blame other people, you let them control how you feel. But the person who says, "This is on me," stops waiting to be saved and starts building instead. Taking responsibility doesn't mean life suddenly gets easy. Storms will still roll in. People will still let you down. What changes is you. You stop being defined by your circumstances and start being defined by how you respond to them. Two people can lose the exact same opportunity. One decides it's over. The other decides it's fuel for something better. The difference isn't the situation. It's the meaning they attach to it. A strong mind doesn't waste its pain. It converts it into wisdom. Slowly you start to understand that life isn't working against you. It's shaping you into a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. Real success isn't just about accumulating more. It's about becoming more patient, more focused, more capable. That requires upgrading your standards and daily choices, because your life is simply a mirror of what you repeatedly do. Look at your calendar. Look at where your time actually goes. That's where your future is quietly being written, not in your intentions. A diamond becomes valuable because of pressure. Your struggles aren't there to break your worth, they're there to reveal it, but only if you stay in the process. You have to work without applause to believe before you have proof. Because character is built in private, in moments no one is checking on you, and no one would even notice if you quietly gave up. Every time you choose the harder right thing over the easier wrong one, you strengthen yourself. Every kept promise builds self-respect, and self-respect is the real foundation of a powerful life. When you respect yourself, you stop negotiating with your own weaknesses. You stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow," and start saying, "I'm starting now." There's real power in that shift from staying comfortable to growing, even though the path of growth is rarely crowded, because most people choose familiarity over transformation. When you commit to building yourself, training your mind, shaping your habits, raising your own bar, something shifts. You stop looking for someone else to complete you and start becoming someone you're actually proud to be around. That's the real foundation. The relationship you have with yourself. Outside achievements will never feel like enough if you haven't done the internal work first. The strongest people aren't strong because they never struggled. They're strong because they learned to face themselves honestly during the struggle, to acknowledge their weaknesses without running from them. That's maturity. There's a stronger, steadier version of you that exists right now only as potential, and it won't appear by accident. It gets built decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. Most people underestimate a single decision's power to change everything. But every transformation starts with one. Someone decides to stop making excuses, to leave behind what's been quietly holding them back. That one decision becomes the first brick of an entirely different life. And a life isn't built in a day, it's built one brick at a time, even when the process feels painfully slow. The invisible work always comes before the visible reward. Roots grow underground long before a tree ever rises above it. Your progress doesn't need witnesses, and your growth doesn't need permission. Every quiet, unseen victory builds strength that eventually shows up everywhere else in your life. Small actions, repeated consistently, create outcomes that look extraordinary from the outside, even though, from the inside, it was just one ordinary day after another. Anyone can push hard for a single day. The real question is who you are when the excitement fades and results are slow to arrive. That's the actual test. The world doesn't need more people who start something. It needs people who finish. Because motivation is weather, and discipline is the foundation underneath it. Your future is hidden inside your ordinary routine. The gap between two very different lives usually isn't one dramatic decision. It's 1,000 small ones, repeated daily, until the distance between the paths becomes impossible to ignore. Discipline, at its heart, is choosing what you want most over what you want right now. Ask yourself honestly, do you want a moment of comfort or a lifetime you're proud of? Your potential is a responsibility, and the real tragedy isn't failure. It's never finding out what you were capable of. Discomfort is usually the doorway to everything you actually want. The strongest prison isn't made of walls. It's made of beliefs like, "I can't," or "it's too late." The first step toward freedom is realizing you're the one holding the key. Your past doesn't have to become your identity. Your failures don't have to become your future. But real change requires honesty about where you are and what needs to shift. The moment you can look at yourself honestly, without flinching, you've already taken the first real step forward. So this is the choice in front of you. Stay the same or grow. Follow the crowd or build your own path, knowing that path will rarely be crowded, because most people choose what feels safe. But the version of you on the other side of that choice is worth more than anything you could collect externally. Achievements and recognition never satisfy for long if you haven't built yourself from the inside first. So stop waiting for someone else to believe in you first. Believe, then build. The world tends to believe in you only after you've already proven it to yourself. People will see the results one day, but they'll rarely see the mornings, the sacrifices, the quiet battles that got you there. Your private discipline is what eventually creates your public life. Choose your habits carefully, because you are becoming someone every single day. The only real question is who. You have one life, one shot at this. Don't spend it avoiding the exact challenges meant to reveal what you're capable of. Time won't ask what you meant to do. It will only show what you actually did. So when that day comes, make sure your answer is one you're proud of. That you tried, that you kept going, that you became everything you had it in you to become. The road ahead won't always be easy. There will be tired days, slow days, days where no one understands what you're building. Keep going anyway. Every disciplined choice you make is a message to your future self. And every time you get back up, you prove you're becoming someone new. So stop asking whether you're capable. Start proving it. Stop waiting for motivation to show up. Build discipline instead. Your life won't change because of what you meant to do. It changes because of what you actually commit to. So commit to your growth, your purpose, the person your future is going to need you to be. Walk it even when no one's walking beside you. Work even when no one's clapping. And believe even when no one else sees it yet. Because the person who can build themselves quietly, without an audience, eventually builds a life loud enough to speak for itself.